Yes, right, we are here. We are back. Okay, right, fantastic. Yes, glisten, let's rock. Yes. Okay, right now. So I did want to do a little bit more. I've wanted to do more coding over the last few days, but I've been quite busy. And I'll explain it in the best way that I can. There's a particular game that was recommended to me by a game called another streamer called Lakia Gaming, who he's I say recommend. He's actually made the game, and then I lost 26 hours of my life. It was brilliant. Those 26 hours were glorious, but I was like, well, I still got the rest of my life to do. It's one of those games where kind of like it takes a little bit of getting into, but my goodness, I just couldn't stop playing. So I was like, I've actually fallen behind on quite a few things. So what are we going to do today? We're going to do some fun, exciting stuff. I've still got there sorting out little problems. That's just because I didn't actually think to change that. We might have. I might change this to something else, which I can't think. How do I change this? Right. We'll call it getting the map working. Yes, that's good. Okay. Right, so what is my plan for today? So what we're going to do, we're going to create a... my gosh, that light is actually... Yeah, sorry about the light, it's a bit blinding on the screen. We are going to essentially work more on the map. So what we got last session was we created a map, which now looks kind of I'm quite happy with it. It looks quite good. Just waiting for it to load up here. Right. So yeah, so we've got a map like this. At the moment, that's the camera's just remaining stationary. But we have actually got a kind of, and all of these maps, the way they're constructed, it is like random. There is a large element of randomness, so that. But if you look, it always goes around, like yeah, sort of follows all the way up till the end, and that's where the last fight is going to be. And I'm going to eventually look to transform my original Destiny map into an actual map, right? Because, as you can probably tell, I have solved the problem. Okay, how do we, it's clearly a pink thing that's moving around, but when you're in a fight, you're fighting like you're actually controlling a whole town. Easy fix. Oh, is it? Oh, right, apologies. Let me go fix that now. One sec, hold on. I think if I just turn the master volume here, I think that might be that. Yeah, has that actually changed anything, or is it still a bit loud? If not, I can do some other things. Oh yeah, also I realised I was sitting away from the thing. Ah, cool, nice. Yeah, so what our plan is. That's good, right? So we're rocking and rolling. Yeah, so I'm going to have to do a very basic. So one big thing which has actually has been a difficult thing to deal with, even to this very day, is the concept of pathfinding. So, for example, if I wanted like this little Nina sprite to move to, say, here, like actually calculating the correct path to do, even though as a human you can just be like, well, it's easy, you just go along here and around. It's quite difficult. So I'm not going to actually delve too much into pathfinding. It's going to be very, very basic. Oh, Lakia Gaming, right? Okay, quickly, Lakia Gaming. I need to quickly. This is okay. A little side bit. Okay, Lakia Gaming. It's so good to actually see you in chat. Right. Now I have actually got a little bit. So we're gonna. Sorry, just so happy. So no, that's not that one. Hold on, because they're just the. Let me see if I can find something. Where did I put it? Oh yeah, so I'll give you a quick sort of tour of the adventure which I went through. I was hoping actually I could sort of slide through. So I got this much of the map. I thought, well, I've got to take a screenshot of this. And then I think I finally actually completed the entire map. I thought I needed to take a journey of like my whole adventure. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'll do that. I won't do that now because but I'll do that at the end of the stream. No problem at all. But yeah, there was something absolute, like, quite beautiful about it. I'm trying to think actually. I think my central spot was. I think it was. It's quite difficult to tell. But I think it is this middle one there. But yeah. And then. Oh yeah. This was basically what I think was as strong as you could reasonably be. This was my ship at the end of it. Oh yeah, sorry. To anyone else, there's a game. Just breathe. There's a game that's just been released on Steam called Wormhole Adventurer that is, as far as if ever you needed a game where you're like, okay, well now I don't get. It's so addictive. It's so addictive, so satisfying. Anyway, I think that's as strong as I could reasonably get. And then. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, this was. Oh yeah, I thought I'd get the save file saved there. This was when I was 19 hours in, and I was like, oh yeah, no, I still need a bit more. Right. So this is one of my best. This is one of the most like tense moments. Oh yes. So yes, actually, sorry. The quick answer to your question, Gliss. We are actually. You know what? We're going to go halfway through. I'm going to come back to the Wormhole Adventurer story. I'll just quickly explain this bit. So this was where I was doing one of these combat instances, and that's how close I got to dying. Bear in mind, this is where I properly had my heart in my chest at that point. This was one of the most epic battles. And I think we've got the victory, and I think what's this one here? Oh, and this was actually just my save file once I'd done everything. Anyway, I needed to share that with you. Right. But yeah, so like, thanks so much for the awesome game. Really, really, just so fun. Right. I haven't actually. I didn't close them as I went through. But yeah, I would thoroughly recommend it. You need a little bit of patience to get into it. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I think the like. Like I say, there's a few things that I would say, like I told you the bugs, and there's a few things that I would say I reckon, they're sort of like things that I would probably recommend to maybe like improve the gameplay, but it's so good that I can't exactly say, well, no, it was good enough for me to play it for, I mean, that was 26 hours. Oh, nice one, yeah, cool. I'm glad I actually managed to show that. Yeah, so that was one of the bugs. Yeah, which it wasn't too bad because I wasn't doing too well on that game anyway. But yeah, I'm glad that's been fixed. Right. Okay. So back into the plan of the day. So what I've done. Right. So Gliss. About the town moving each battle, how it doesn't make sense. How instead of it being the same town, the character is going from town to town in order to command their army. There could be a small cosmetic difference between towns. Oh! Okay, that is very interesting. Right, so I've decided to go with the kind of simple measure of, and you're probably like, okay, this doesn't make an awful lot of sense, but I think almost the premise of the story doesn't make an awful lot of sense. So maybe it makes perfect sense. Right, so here we go. So these are the frames of the little guy, right? And you could argue it's a slightly lazy cop-out answer, but I think this is very clever, right? So what happens when he's actually about to start a fight? Hold on. This is the thing, okay? All right. Now, this is what I was working on, and this might be a terrible idea, but I mean, it would basically solve all of the problems that we've got, right? Okay. All right. Gets bigger, 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 and then turns into a town, right? And then we'll have that little sprite, and then it will go into the combat like normal, and that's kind of what I'm going with at the moment. This particular animation did not take me that long to do, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what everyone's sort of view on it is. It's just I was thinking like this would essentially just about it would kind of what's the word? I mean, yeah. As I say, we're going to use that as a sort of yeah. And I was trying to work out, I was thinking, like, there's so many sort of counter arguments, because you could be thinking, well, if that's the case, this, like, Nina creature here is actually quite big, and you could argue that if ever you're trying to fight an enemy, you'd probably rather just have this enormous monster that can fight the enemy, as opposed to a monster that turns into a town. Oh yes. Oh right. Oh sorry. Yeah. But I like your encouragement, Gliss. I think I'm going to stick with this plan. Oh yeah. So we're talking about the combat instance bug. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's really good that you fixed that, because so when I fix the first bit, it then spawned the next wave on the combat instance. Oh right. Okay. Like, so I'm guessing you went round the houses a little bit trying to get it to fix, but yeah, that was, yeah, as I say, it was there's bound to be bugs in the first day, because and it's one thing which is quite hard to explain, but there's so many when it comes to coding, there's so many things that as the person creating the game yourself, you will never be able to see. You need someone else to actually like look at it with a different pair of eyes to actually be able to spot these problems. Yes, that's partly why I was a little bit late on the stream today. I actually got that news. Now, admittedly, I did have a running bet with one of my friends, like that. I told him that I'd get him a bottle of wine if Liz Truss quits by the end of the year, and bless me. With the vague hope that I was hoping to lose this bet, and I have lost the bet, and I'm really happy. But I do owe him a bottle of red wine. I didn't know. I just didn't realise it was all going to occur so quickly. Right. Anyway, so this is what we're working on. But before we can do any of this, what we're going to do is we're actually going to work on just the actual movement animations of Nina. So we are going to, first of all, we actually need to get all of these sprites. So I'm going to go Control-Shift-S, save as a PNG. Nina, yeah, that's all good. So what we're actually looking to do is, before anything, we just want to get the animation. So we want to, even though it's probably not how you're going to move around, I just want to make it so that you can play all the animations and little things like, I've actually got the turning animation as well, as you can probably see in the little sprites over there, that like kind of, when Nina sort of rotates, that actually kind of deals with, so like if you're moving up then turning right, it will hopefully deal with all of those issues. So that's what we're going to kind of work on today. So we say that's what, yeah, and then we'll see where we go from there. So I better stop that one. We're going to just get all the sprites that we need. Right, I've just got to remember where I put all of the sprites. I'll be able to find out this way. But yes, so if I just go on Sprite Renderer, I'll just remember. Oh, I did. Oh, I see. It's in. In map stuff, Nina. Okay, yeah. So we've just got this one sprite, but we're going to create the folders for. For all of them. So this shouldn't take too long. So create a folder for idle left. So idle left, idle. Yeah, we just need the turning as well, which I haven't. I'll work out a way of doing that. I don't think it should be too difficult. Idle up. Folder idle right and idle down, and then and we're just gonna so I think it's just idle and turning. I'm just gonna have a whole folder that's just gonna be called turning, and we'll work out what frames we need for all of them. So let's go create a folder. First of all, move left, and you move, and like when it actually comes to moving, there is a little way that you can manipulate everything so that you don't need both moving left sprites and moving right sprites. But for simple reasons, I think it would just make sense to have separate animations for going left and right, because then you have to flip the sprite and it just gets a bit confusing. We're going to go for nice and simple today. Move up. So I'm really excited to stream. It's been a sort of crazy few days. Move right. And like I say, we're just going to work on the animations, then we're going to work on it actually moving in the map. So that will be move down. Okay. And then we just want create folder turning. Now we're just going to start distributing all the sprites that we need. Rumble down. So yeah, I'm actually going to I think it's probably easier if I have this on my offs thing, and then I'll just drag them on. So just need to drag them into the right place. So let's go. I do apologise, I'm actually covering the screen at this point, so I can't actually look at any chat just while I'm doing this. That'll be idle right, And actually, I'm just intrigued. So I might need to actually just create. I might need to just duplicate the idle right ones so that they can be running the other way. But I'll come to that in a sec. So that's the idle right. Yeah, I think actually 1, 3. Yeah. So let me just have a quick cycle through. Oh, brilliant! Oh, fantastic! Did you actually like complete it? Like that's actually really cool. Did you find any good? Did you have a favourite strategy? Like, because it turns out bees cards are really good if you get enough of them. And the first card that actually card that starts in your deck, which gives you rangers, is quite heavily like that's what is your main. I found your main card that you kind of want to get to. Yeah, to sort of get everything sort of going. But yeah, it's also if you can get the totem, which is Book of Bees. That's really solid as well. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's actually blinking there, but that's okay. Oh yes. Oh, I have actually left spaces, so it actually should be easy-ish to. I keep thinking that when I've got my screen on my off monitor, it's covering everything. So yeah. Anyway, right. This is good. This is move right. We don't need to worry about any of the jumping. In fact, I can actually. I'll show you what I'm looking at the moment. These are all the tiles here. We've got. We don't need any of that. This. Yeah. So we're going to have turning, and I just want to check. So it's going all the way round. And I think this is the whole turning circle there. So that I can just put in turning. And we need this is idle up, idle down. We're getting there. I think these 6 here are move down. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is move up, and yeah. And what I'll do as well is actually I think I've got it open twice now. I'm just going to be a little bit sneaky. We're just going to add a few empty ones on the end here, and I just need to get the idle ones for moving right. So I'm going backwards here. So over here, I was contemplating having horns at some point, but I thought that's going to be a bit confusing. Right, so we copied these, and then I just need to get to the end here. I'm just going to paste. I just pressed the wrong thing. Hold on. So I'm going to go Control C. Over here, Control V. That's better. And it's simply a matter. I think there's actually just a way of going edit, flip horizontal. Yeah. So that's the moving left animations, and we just need the idle animations as well. I actually kind of like that instead. I kind of want that as an idle. So Control C. Let's go all the way to the end. Oh, did I leave enough space? No, not quite. Okay, I can go backwards though. Home. I apologise for all this. In fact, we'll do this for the time being. That's fine. Control C. Yeah, and then we just need to flip these ones the other way. So sprite, edit, flip horizontal. Like I say, I do quite often just talk gibberish for a period of time. So now I'm just going to simply press Control S to save it, and hopefully it will give me all of the extra things. And yeah, we've got the extra sprites here, so I think we don't need this anymore. Right, so getting attackers and using. Oh yes, so Gliss, what's the name of the card that doubles the attackers? Yes, nice. Yes. Oh, nice one. That's really cool, actually. Oh, bless me, losing my voice slightly. So, like, this is an interesting thing, because, yeah, the Glycerca. Like, I have actually been thinking of actually making that card slightly better, because that was actually another strategy, and that's move left, because I want that to be like another strategy to use. Idle left, that's good. Okay, right, so we're going to find out. This was 128, so we just want to turn all these sprites into I need to open all this up. We need to just turn all the sprites into the thing that we need, and then it will make sense. Just talking rubbish at the moment. Here we go. So all of these here, select all these textures. We're going to go 128, point filter, and none, and apply. Okay. So what we have done, oh yeah, that's a good point. Yes, my spelling is quite poor. No, that's good to know, because I did one slight issue, and I think it's been fixed. Is there's a construct that's called Kev, right? And it protects your rangers. Like, it means they've got a 50% chance of surviving if the town gets attacked. And I did have issues there that I think have been fixed. But because it's essentially I ran into a problem where it thought you had more rangers, so it was trying to go into an array that was bigger than it was, and I think I fixed that. But spelling errors. I'm actually going to do a good sort of what's the word? A proofread of all of my spelling errors, because there's a few little problems, which in fact I'll do this now. This is just as an example. With where's the card? Glycerca. I actually haven't. This is a vanquish card. It does vanquish, but it hasn't actually said that at any point. So I actually need to go dot and then put vanquish, just so that the reader, so that the player knows that it does actually vanquish. Because at the moment people don't know that. You actually have to find that out yourself. So yeah, but there's quite a few sort of problems that we have where I've just missed things, and part of me was thinking that at the moment the level 1 is 3 mana and then it goes 2 mana then 1 mana. I might go 2-1-0, but I don't know if that's going to be too strong. But yeah. Let's have a look. Bees planning ahead says, oh yes, you're right. That was a slightly lazily put together number. Yes, you are entirely right with that. I kind of scrabbled that together because I've got this bees number, which, I've just calculated it wrong. Yeah, that's something where it's like when I'm going to do a review of the cards at some point, and I'm actually going to fix it because I'm actually I know that I've got the wording wrong. Let's have a look. So planning ahead is Oh yeah, I've somehow got that wrong as well. Anyway, yeah, I'll have to do some proofreading. I won't do that today, but I will have a good sort of look into that because I actually, believe it or not, the whole concept of bees, I think we'd almost nailed in one stream. It was like from there not being bees to suddenly, oh, I've got an idea. So I think there's bound to get some problems, but I do want to fix that though. Yeah, cheers for bringing that up. Right, wicked. Okay. Oh, I've just spelt that wrong as well. I've put int total because I had the word int on my mind. Anyway, so now that we've got the... Yes! Yes! I know what you mean actually there. I know exactly what you mean. As it is, with like what I'm going to do now, because we're going to change basically the Destiny map is eventually going to look like this. It's going to be so different that's why I'm not too worried about that, because we're going to turn the Destiny map into something that looks like an almost like a real map, and that whole hovering over issue we're going to kind of it'll be like a separate problem and when this suddenly starts to get off the ground. Anyway, the second reason I've come to to actually deal to actually the reason I press play as well is so I can get to this script here. And we've got the Nina script here. This is where we're going to work on our animation, and we'll should be a bit of fun. Right, so this is going to be a big daddy script. Loads of fun stuff happening in here. So first of all, we want to get hold of the public transform Nina trans get private. Oh no! What have I done? I'm trying to get into the habit of introducing variables like this. I think this is the private set. That's good. Okay. Public sprite renderer. Nina SR. Get private set. There we are. Because I realise it's whenever I look at that Destiny map, I just kind of got a bit like the whole the black screen where it works out what tiles. It always just feels so rubbish. I look at it, I just think, why does this look so bad? And I spent a long time staring at it, and I feel like I need to make a map. And like me and Gliss have been back and forthing over how we can have a map and you're still in a town when you're in combat. And I think I've resolved the issue. It turns out that little pink thing turns into the town. And there's no questions that need to follow from that. I was trying to work out a sort of logical way around it. So void awake. Oh yes, let's go. Probably. All right. Nina trans equals. Nope. I'm always going to put equals get component transform just because I prefer that. Even though actually I could just write the word lowercase transform and it'd be fine. So we've got hold of these. We probably need our sprites now. So we're going to have. We'll just keep everything public to make life easier. Public. Sprite idle left sprites hold on. Yeah. So idle left sprites, idle right. Oh no, this can be public. We're going to keep it public for the time being. Control V. And Control V. Okay. So up. So left, up, right, and down. And for good reasons. It doesn't make an awful lot of sense, but I always like to go left, up, right, down when in any other things. And part of the reason. If we go on to now I just got to find it. Scripts and core, our main master script. I want to kind of add a new enum, which is going to simply be public enum direction, and we're going to have left, up, right, and down. I think that's all we need to do. Just purely, we'll probably need to come across this, use this a bit later in the in my sort of coding process. So we've got access to all the idle sprites. Well, we haven't got access to them, but and then this is going to be move, and then we just want public sprite turning sprites, and we probably need a public, let's go actually direction, and we'll call it facing direction. Okay, so we can now say we can now kind of set its direction that it should be facing. So so first of all, as well, we just need to get access to all the sprites that we've just made. So once I've done one of them, everything else will kind of fall into place. Idle left sprites equals resources.load all sprites, and then we just need to fill in this gap, and then it should be pretty easy from here. Right, awesome. Sorry, I'm calming down slightly. I was too excited to stream, and then and I had to sort of keep track of the news as well. Right, resources. We're gonna have sprites. Where are we? We need oh yeah, so map stuff, and then Nina. So copy this path. Just get rid of this bit here. So this gives us access to everything, and everything else here we're just changing. So left, up, right, and down. So this is just making sure that we're getting hold of all the sprites that we need. I just watched all of Stranger Things as well. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. I just wish there was more. So these are going to be move sprites, and then we just need to change this word here into move. We've got move. So yeah, sorry, I know this is a little tedious here. I do apologise. And what I kind of want to do as well is we want to just play that, just check. This is why I'm keeping this public, so we can just check that it has found all the sprites that we need. So turning sprites equals resources dot load all sprites, and then I think it's just check. Just turning, yeah, that's fine. Copy. Oh yes, no worries. I've actually added a lurk command as well, I think. Yeah, but yeah, no, that's fair play though. Again, Lakia, you're an absolute legend. Genuinely, absolute mastermind went into making that game. It's absolutely incredible. Yeah. Oh, it's called Wormhole Adventurer. I think I might have had it up on Steam. Yeah, absolutely. Like, oh, cool. There's an update as well. Brilliant. Um, but yeah, I would properly recommend that game. Just so good. I've played it. Yeah, I spent far too many hours, like an embarrassing amount of hours, so long playing that game. Yeah, just brilliant. Right. Okay, so we've activated all those. I'm just going to simply just check to see if all these sprites have been put in the right place. Let's have a look. So if I click on this bad boy, it looks like we've got the idle left sprites, which is all of these. That looks good. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, like the yeah, it did take a while. It's like, it turns out there's quite a lot of resources you need, but I think I was just excited. I just really did want to. I had that sort of passion of like, I needed to get there. But yeah, no, that's really kind of you to say that. I do appreciate that. Oh yes, that's a good point actually. Yeah, because I noticed, I had a look and I realised I haven't got that because I've already completed it before you've put it on. But that's okay. That just gives me another excuse to play it. But what I'll need to do, I'll need to make sure, I need to plan ahead. I need to be like, okay, I'm just going to focus the next 2 days on playing this, because I don't think I'm one of those people that's just so focused that I'll be like, nope, I'm putting every bit of focus on completing this, and then I can carry on. I can then resume. Let's have a little look at this. Sorry, just a minute. Yeah, I think this is fine. I think we've got all the sprites that we need. Didn't realise there was quite 25 sprites in turning. Is that actually right? I guess it is. So I'm just going to stop this. I just want to have a very look. Right, good. My head isn't. I just want to quickly. I'm sort of looking at the screen and sort of just checking that this is the full rotation. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so what we're going to do first is I just need to find our right. I did have a plan. So we're going to go into prefabs, map stuff. I've got to why am I so terrible at remembering where I kept all of the my game objects? Because I want to. Let's have a look. Yeah, so here it's called Map Nina Go. Okay, that's what we're looking for. I'm just going to type it in here. Map Nina Go. Okay, I can't remember where I actually kept it all, but now we've got access to. Oh, it's just in there. That's fine. Okay, so we kind of want. I actually kind of wanted to face right to start with, and we're going to have a public void face. I'm going to call this instantly face correct direction. That's a long function name, but it's going to be very, very simple. So it's just going to be switch facing direction case direction dot left break. We're going to have sr Nina sr dot sprite equals, and we're simply just going to use number 1. We're not going to go through the animation quite yet, so it's just going to be idle sprites 0. Okay, so that's like essentially the first one on the list. This is purely to start everything up, so Control C. Up, yeah. Up, right, and down. This will be up sprites, right sprites, and down sprites. And I can make this a little tidier as well, couldn't I? If I just go like that. Okay. Trying to work out the sprites needed to turn is going to be... Oh, that needed to be a capital. Down sprites. Okay. So we're going to just work on turning at the moment, which is going to be a little bit difficult. But I'm going to have a public void turn to face direction, and we're going to have an argument that goes in, which is going to be direction to face. And where we've got this switch statement, we can actually still use this. So Control C, Control V, and yeah, this is where things will get a little bit complicated, because we've got to essentially work out what frames we need to use for each directions. There is now. Oh yes, yeah. Sorry, yeah. I was miles away. So that's good. We actually need to work out what the sort of animation is needed. So in fact, we're going to have a routine here, and I'm going to call it turning. So first of all, we're going to have a boolean, which we're going to call public bool turning, and where are we? So, and I'm going to make a coroutine private by enumerator turn to face direction routine, and we want direction to face, and we're going to have turning equals true, turning equals false, and here the turning process ... We're going to fill all this in a sec. So in fact, I kind of want to have... We want to just move this in here. We're going to do more stuff with this, but we're going to work it out. This, even though this is going to look a little weird, I think I'm quite happy with how this is going to... I think this shouldn't be too tough. So here we're going to start coroutine, open brackets, turn to face direction routine, direction to face, boom. Okay, so now all we need to do is get all the sprites that we need from the turning. Oh, do I hit a coffee? Maybe I've had a bit too much caffeine today. We'll see. I do want a coffee, but I've got actually one of the sort of cold, trendy coffees that, you know, the fridge coffees. Right. So we're going to probably have sprite turning sprites. Oh, actually, I've already got one. We'll just call it turn sprites. Actually, even though this probably makes no sense at all, I'm going to rename this to turn sprites, and we're going to have sprite, and this will just be a lowercase turn sprites, although I've put yearn. Turn sprites equals null. Okay, so what we're doing, these are going to be the specific turn sprites. So we're going to essentially dissect the sprites that we need from because this cut contains all of the turn sprites, and we're just going to dissect the exact ones that we need. So we'll have to kind of go through each direction one by one, but once we've done one, the rest should be relatively easy. So what we could do first, I'm just going to go copy all this and just do that. Does that work? I think that's fine. Oh, of course, we need to have break, don't we? Okay. Right, I think that should be okay. So, and we'll fix all this as we go along. So, case direction left. We then need to switch our current direction. So, switch. What have I called it? Yeah, switch facing direction. Case direction dot left. Break. Left up. Right and down. And then we're going to kind of assign, we're going to work out the exact ones that we need. So, and there's not actually that easy a way of doing it, so we're just going to have turn sprites equals new sprite turning sprites yeah, so the code is going to look a bit like this, and we just need to fill in all these numbers. So as it is, if we're left and we're turning left, then we can just have turn sprites equals null. So I'm just going to copy this here, Control V, and I obviously could just ignore, but I'm just going to put null there, just in case for whatever reason it gets the direction to turn left, and it's already left, which I think can happen. Oh, that is a really tough question. I mean, like I suppose the obvious answer would be probably. I mean, I've been listening to a lot of James O'Brien lately, and it is getting comically more and more terrible the more I listen. From what I would gather, if I was to try and make a guess, I would probably say Rishi Sunak. But who do you reckon will be PM? Who would be the next PM? So yeah, I would say Rishi Sunak, but I do not. I'm clueless. Right. So now we just need to fill in all of the sprites that we need. This shouldn't be too difficult. We just need to have a look. So let me just go into sprites, close this one here, turning sprites. It'd be nice if this could get a bit bigger, but I don't think there's an easy way of doing this. So you probably can't see it too well, and I can't see it super well either. So if we are currently facing left, that's the left one. The sprites that we need are, oh yes, of course. It does not make life easier that if these were all like 0, if these were numbered, so I think we just need to minus 57 off of whatever it is. Let's just go 57, 58, 59, 60, 64. Yeah, that's fine. So we just need to remember minus 57 from whatever we are. So so that'll be 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75. So 69 to 75. Okay, what's 69 minus 57? That's 12. So 12 to 18? Yeah, 12 to 18. So, like I say, once we've done it once, it's going to be a lot easier. So 12, 13, 14. Yeah, I'll just copy this as well. What about yourself, Bliss? Who have you got your money on? 15, 16, and 17. Okay, so I think this is fine here. We can actually tidy this up a little bit. I mean, like, I know. Obviously, obviously that is, yeah. As far as actual educated guesses go, I'm certainly, as someone who works in the NHS, I'm not super keen on that guy. Let's have a look. Right, I think we can sort of make this look a little nicer. So So we just need to sort of change these numbers one by one, I guess. I've also got to make a weird decision that when it comes to turning, I think the rule is, so that it kind of looks okay, we will always go clockwise when we're going from left facing to right. And right to left, it's always going to go clockwise as far as turning. So I think that would just look a little nicer. I haven't really got that much scientific basis on that. I just think it'll look a little bit better. Control V. Okay. I kind of want to have this nice and tidy like this, and then we just need to basically alter these numbers, and then we kind of once we've done the turning, I think it's going to be a little bit easier from here. So what I want to do is just have yield return null, and I want to press save. I want to just see if we get any error messages. Yes. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I think that the sad thing is it's like there is no, like, you know, it's just, yeah, it's really bad. It is really bad. It's just, I mean, it was, I think when I was hearing James O'Brien talking about Jeremy Hunt, about how somehow, like, we're in a situation so bad that somehow he's seen as the voice of reason, and it's like I was thinking, what is wrong? what is happening? I just want to check that we're not getting any error messages. Cool. So yeah, this should be okay. So that's a really so let me just have it. Could you not have the switch case set at start and end? Oh, hang on a sec. That does actually make a lot of sense. Okay, that makes an awful lot of sense. You're just thinking of, like, essentially, as long as we have this whole turning circle, we're just picking a segment of what we need, whether it's like half of it or quarter of it, and we just work through. So, like, I actually, to be honest, I think that probably is actually better. Oh my gosh, yeah. The only problem is if we're looking to do reverse, oh my gosh, yeah, sorry, I really like that idea. I just don't know, because I wouldn't know, is there a way of here, me saying like, instead of actually having to put in each sprite, having like, I want to have sprites 12 to 18 on there. That is a good point. I mean, to be honest, I feel like we're actually, now that we've actually broken the back of how this works, it's also another slight problem is the turn sprites. There are a few like I think a few duplicate sprites. So when you're actually facing down, it's two at the same time, and I've done that so that it's slightly easier to separate. But yeah, like it's just I think once we've sort of nailed this first one, everything else will look a little bit easier. So let's have a look. So when we're facing this way, so 69, we want to go all the way to 81. So 81 minus 57 is 24, I think, or 25. No, 24. So yeah, because this, I kind of agree. As I'm putting this in, this does look quite ugly, doesn't it? Yeah. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. Z, Control C, Control V. So we just need these ones to go up to 24, 19. Yeah, I tell you what, there's got to be a better method than this. Because once we've got access to the sprites, it's easy to animate. And this one is when it's facing down. And so I think it's going to go in the other direction. So if we have there, we're going to have 69, 68, 67. So it's there. Yeah, that's where it kind of gets a little awkward, because I think in my head, okay, I haven't done it there. I thought I'd actually duplicated. Yeah, I mean, I think this way, I can do some altering, I guess. You know, like that's the problem. Sometimes when I'm coding, I can't really come up with a strong enough argument as to why my way I think is any better. I think it's more just this is kind of like how I'm sort of used to doing it. But I actually do agree with you. I think you have a better sort of structured. So that's left there. So 69 is the generally facing left. So 69. So 63 is where we're looking to get to. So 63 minus 57 is 6. So I think 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is basically us getting hold of. So if ever we're looking to face directions, so the actual code that we're going to put here is if turn sprites is not equal to null, then int chom equals aaron.instance.play forward once Nina SR. The animating sprites are going to be turn sprites, and the finishing sprites will be turn sprites, and we want to end on the last one, so turn sprites dot length -1, and the anim speed is, let's just say 0.1f. That seems to generally do quite well. Close that one off, and then while Aaron dot hold on, while Aaron instance dot chumballs chom. I know it sounds like I'm talking. Have I had a stroke? No, I haven't. This is I've got a certain way that I name certain things. Anyway, yield return null, and then we kind of right at the bottom here, we're just going to have oh, this one needs to be switch direction to face, not that. So now we can then have facing direction equals direction to face, and then we don't need that, probably don't need any of that. Okay, so now I think we've got it covered that like if we are facing left, we can turn any direction, and I think it sorts itself out. Oh, fair play. Yeah, I'll see you in a bit, man. If it works, it's not wrong. Yeah. No, I think you're right. I mean, like, admittedly, at some point down the line, I probably need to look at my code. This will be something, hopefully, I'll look back on in a few years and be like, how did I not find a better way of doing a massive, long, chunky bit of code like that? Yeah, because I just don't know. Because I kind of want to get, in fact, let me just experiment with a couple of things. Sprites dot because I'm looking to see if there's going to be a function within arrays so that I can just say get like a certain number from one that might actually be true, because if I could get, say, instead of me having to individually say 13, 14, like actually just get a group of like instances in there from like say 10 to 12 or something, or 10 to 15. I'll do that I'll do that in my downtime, because I would want to know that, because this obviously doesn't look great, does it? And we're always doing but I'll come back to that. Right, so now this should be pretty easy now. We just need to get the numbers for all the others. Control C. Control V. Okay, so we're working on up next. So we've just got to kind of go through the cycle. So if we are currently facing up, it will be here, and we're looking to go to left. That will be 75, 74, 73, 72. So it's actually going to be actually we can kind of work out the numbers from quite a bit, because so from going from left to up, it's basically these ones but in the opposite order. So 18 down to 12, so 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13 and 12. And going from up to right, we're still looking to go clockwise when we can. So I think it's going to be something like, so from up to right, it's going to be 75. So 75 minus 57 is 18. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 18 to 24. 18, 19, 20, 21, 20, 22, 3, 24. And then I think we can get rid of the rest of this one here. X. Oh yes, actually this is where this is where my plan works slightly better, because I think if we're looking to go from up to down, we're looking to go clockwise, but I think we might have to essentially like rip round, which will suddenly make everything look a little bit easier. So if we're looking to go up to down, it's going to be all of the ones mentioned. We're going to skip that one, and then it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, right. So we want all of this. Control C. Control V. Control V. And we want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and we can just get rid of this. Yeah, okay, this is looking nicer. Okay, we're getting there. So I think this is all the sprites that we need. Oh, however, I've done a slight mistake. This is actually going left, so what we kind of need to do, I think this is the easiest way to do this, if we just have that one as up, and this one as left. Yeah, because the idea is if we're turning like up and we're already facing up, we don't need any more sprites. Okay, right. So I think this is good. There's a good chance we're going to do all this and then it's just not going to work. But I don't know. I reckon I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. So we're halfway there. And once we've got all the turning sorted, I genuinely think the moving will be easier. So if we're looking to go, let's go, so from right to left, we want a bunch of sprites. Control C. And we're just going to work out the exactly what we need. So from when they're facing right all the way to left is there. So actually no, that's left, isn't it? So it's from 0 up until 12. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 13. Yep, that's fine. Easily done. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. 9, 10, 11, and 12. So from right to up, we actually want to go. So it's actually all of these sprites, but backwards. So so from right to up, it'll be 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18. Okay, right, so from right to right, we're just going to have null. Null break. And when we're going from right to down, we just need to have a look at that, see where we're going. So that'll be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, 0 to 6, I believe. Yeah. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. It's alright. I know this has been a little bit painful. 2, 4, 5, 6. Okay. We can get rid of that. And now we're almost on the home straight. Okay, so and we can actually work out everything else from the others. So from down to left is the same from going left to down, but backwards. So that'll be 6 up until 12. So from left, yeah. So that'll be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This does become quite difficult if ever I want to change these sprites or add more sprites to it, but we'll worry about that. So from down, we can get rid of that as well. From down to up, we actually do need to find the correct sprites. So from down to up, it's going to be so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 6 to 18. Okay. Up, it's going to be right, so we just need to go 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh. Have I got this wrong? I think I might have this wrong. Because it's not going clockwork, it's going down to up. Yes, this is fine. Yeah. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and then to go from down to right, it's the same as going right to down, but the other way around. So if we're currently, I might. Oh god, right. Let's have a look. Facing direction. I might have actually. Have I got this all wrong? Let's have a check. I have a feeling I might have done one thing slightly wrong, which might cost me quite a bit, but we'll find out. Because I think at the moment I need to swap these ones with each other. In fact, I don't think that's going to be too hard to do. Yeah, so switch direction to face. So if it's going left, yeah, I think I need to swap where it says facing direction here. Yeah, so that should be facing direction, and this should be direction to face. But we'll find out. I think it's I might have this slightly wrong. So if we're currently facing down and we're looking to turn right, that will be currently facing down. It will be 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. 6. Oh, no, not that one. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And at this point here, we can just have null break. Okay. Right. Yes. All right, let's give this a shot. I think we just give it a little bit of a shot for the time being. We're going to have a void update. That'll do. Even though I spelled it wrong. Okay, and we'll use the WASD keys. So if input dot get key down key code dot a, and we're just going to have if not turning, then we want turn to face direction, direction dot left, and then we just need to copy this. Control C, Control V, V, W. W is going to be up. D is going to be right. Oh, I hope this does work. And S is going to be down. And let me just have a little look. So definitely done something slightly wrong here. No, maybe I haven't. I think this is still fine. Let's give this a shot. We'll probably run into some errors, but let's give it a little play, see where we're up, see where we're headed. Right, okay, so. Okay, all right, okay, so I'm pressing right now. Okay, that's good. And then I'm pressing right again, no thing, that's down. Now if we go up, he should be going cycling around like that. That's good. So I'm trying all the combinations and this is looking okay. Let's try and go around the other way. Yeah, okay, we could probably make these frames a little faster, couldn't we? But yeah, this looks pretty good. Okay. All right, and also I can't press loads of things at once because it won't allow any input up until, yeah. So this is looking pretty good. Okay, this is progress. This is good. Okay, now we want to. So yeah, we're well on our way now. So now we've got to kind of work out the sort of moving direction. I mean, that shouldn't actually be too hard. So let's have a look. I'm trying to work out if we actually can now start putting this in the game, because the actual movement part I might have to work on later. But we've actually got the turning. It's looking quite nice. I think we can make the animation. I'll have a public float anim speed, and at the moment I've got it at 0.1, but we could just change that to anim speed, and let me have a little look. So if we actually Nina map go, this bad boy, or map Nina go, we'll turn the anim speed to say 0.05. Let's see if that's too fast or too slow. Did I save it? Yes, I did. Okay, so let's go out of here to this one, and then yeah, that's a bit faster, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, I've got this animation sorted. I like this. So the idea is like if we're going to give Nina like like an instruction to go say down 3 times and move right, and then it will know whichever way it's facing, it's going to then kind of like move into that position. Right. Okay. And then we're going to worry about pathfinding in a little bit. At this precise moment, another little problem that we've got, which I'll quickly illustrate, is at the moment the tile behind this one is covering the exact same amount of space. So if I were to like basically at the moment it's right at the bottom of the tile. Ah, Lakia, welcome back. Yeah, so at the moment our progress so far, we've got it looks like we've got all the turning in place when we need to. We just need to actually work out the movement and stuff. So well, we sort of, you know, small like baby steps. we've got this far. There's still we've still got quite a lot more to go. But I've got to work out exactly. Let me go. I'm going to hit one of my trendy coffees just while I sort of work out the next step that we need to make. So I think what we need to do is I'm actually going to work on generally, even though we probably won't necessarily like use it, there's not really going to be a directional keys. I think just for getting everything sorted, I want to just get it so it can move around on the map. So for us to do that, we've got to work out its actual XY coordinate. So yeah, okay. So we're gonna, I think this shouldn't be as difficult as it could be. So let's have, I think about maybe here is where we're going to have public int xpos. No, sorry, Nina xpos and Nina ypos. Okay. And when we're actually creating this Nina script, let's go find all references. Oh no, we haven't got one. Oh yes, no, we have. So we're actually, we want to just create. We want to like give this script in like the actual X and Y coordinate of where it is on the map, which. Let's have a look. Let me just try and work out if there's an easy way of doing this. Central 0. So unfortunately, let's see. I suppose we've got this might take a little bit longer, but I'm going to just have like actually getting the XY coordinate is a little bit difficult, but I'm going to kind of like we're going to start off using the easy version. So we're going to have public void set xy pos, and that's going to be int x comma int y Nina xpos equals x, Nina ypos equals y. And unless I'm mistaken, I think it's 3-3 to begin with. How I'm going to deal with this later, I'm going to come back to. So underscore Nina script dot few things. Destiny map. Because what we actually need to do is save the coordinates. In fact, there's plenty of ways we can do this. We just need to save where we've got our map tile trans and stuff. We just need to essentially save the images, save the numbers. I've just got to remember where it's all kept. Create Destiny map. So we just kind of at what point is the randomness added? Central point trans. In the script dot sets xy pos. I think it's 3 3. This will just be a minute. I just need to do a bit of sifting, try and work out. There's a certain thing that I'm looking for. And once I've seen it, I'll be like, yes, that's the one. Okay, right, here we go. Map tile SRs. Okay. Map tile ints. Oh, we've got it. Yeah, we've got it. It's absolutely no problem. This is what we're trying to refer to. So what we need to do is have... for the time being, this is going to be a... actually, no, we don't need this. So, map tile... Map tile ints, yes, okay, this is the vague one. This is to make sure that we can't walk on the water. So, this is the main thing that we need to get to. So, I'm going to have... right at the bottom here, Control MO, close everything. We're going to have a public void, no, public int get map tile int int x int y if x is less than 0 or y is less than 0 or x is greater than map tile ints dot get length 0, sort of fitting everything into one line here, or y is greater than... So this is basically, we're going to check for a tile to see whether it's a 1 or a 0. Map tile ints dot get length 1. So this is basically just checking the x and the y. Then return 0. Sweet. Else return map tile ints. Oh, yeah, okay. Right, that's fine. And what we kind of want to do is need a map script. We kind of want access to our map test script. And like I say, it's this is quite a big sort of ongoing project that we're working on. So yeah, like I say, hopefully let's see what we can get done today, but this is still going to be over a period of time that we get there. So we kind of want access to our and we'll have it as private map test script, and we'll call this map test script, but I always put an underscore there. So and we'll get a little function here which is going to be public void set map script, and this will be the map test script. Map test script underscore map test script equals map test script. So what are we doing here? We just want to make sure that our little Nina has got access to the map, mainly so when we're actually turning, we can work it out. Okay, so So now that we've got that, we just want to go into here, and I think, is it just create destiny map? We're going to have underscore map in a script dot set map script, and it's actually just this that we're putting in. Okay, all right. So now we have access to the map, so now we can kind of have a look to see if we can move left. Yeah. And I'm gonna, this will make sense a bit later, but we're gonna have public vector 3, and this one will be, I'm just gonna call this buffer vec, which this will come into play a bit later. Okay, so now that we've got turn to face, we're going to have functions which are going to be move. So public void move in a direction. It's actually, can I just call it move? Is that going to be a bit too? Is that going to be a bit too? No, I'll call it move in a direction, and that one will also be direction to move. Ah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you did the lurk. Yes, rock and roll. Like, yes, this is exactly what this channel is designed for. I want people to just have this on in the background, just be like, yeah, where's he going? He's talking about moving this little pink thing. Apparently this pink thing turns into a town. I don't know what he's on about, but you know, nice background, smooth stream. Right. So if direction to move is equal to facing direction, actually no, we'll have, if that is not equal to facing direction, we're going to go turning, no, turn to face direction, direction to move, and then we'll have while turning yield return null. Oh yes, of course, we actually need a routine, don't we? Right, let's see. I tell you what, I reckon I can do the whole movement thing, and I can get the whole movement thing, and for it to recognise not to walk in into the water, into the water. I think I can do that entirely in the next 15 minutes, but this is going to be hard work. In fact, I'm actually going to have 2 minutes past 4. That's what I reckon I can do. Oh wow! Oh my gosh! Wow! Oh, fantastic! Oh, hello everyone. Grumbler Pugs, thank you very much for the raid. I do apologise that there's no animation, but just imagine there was a really cool animation in the top left corner. Right, so yeah, let's rock. Oh, fantastic. How is everyone going today? I'll give you a quick insight as to what we were looking to do at the moment. We have, because of my love of Super Mario World, I absolutely love having like a sort of over map, a sort of map controlling everything, and that's kind of what we're working on today, because for my new game. So this is going to be, it's the actual game, believe it or not, even though you won't see it from this, it's going to be a sort of card drafting game similar to Slay the Spire, except for you're controlling a town, and and a new decision that we've made is this little pink thing turns into the town in combat. I know. I just love Overworlds. Overworlds just make me so happy. It's like I think for a good sort of 2 years I had just the Super Mario World on my background, like my sort of wallpaper on my phone. But yeah, it's just I think every game needs an overworld. So we're gonna work on sort of moving. At the moment, we're working on essentially just getting this to move around. We're this is as far as we've got so far. We've got as far as actually just turning. So and if I do this, we can turn up, right, down, up. And I've kind of made it. I've put a boolean on, so I can't if I mash all the keys at the same time. Hopefully it won't glitch. Yes, yeah. I mean that'll be really cool. I think just whenever I don't know. I genuinely don't know if it's something some sort of chemical or some way that that's something inside. But whenever I see any overworld in any game, even if the game isn't very good, the overworld I love so much that I'm just I need to, I think one of my favourite games ever was a game on the Amiga, right, that was called Donk, right, and it was kind of a 2D platformer, a co-op 2D platformer that had a big overworld. And I think if we were to return back to it, I'd be like, this game's terrible, but it's got the best overworld ever. And so that's kind of what we're sort of working on at the moment. But it's not going to be exactly as it looks, because you won't actually be able to move left and right. It's still going to be similar to Slay the Spire in that you sort of press the... in the kind of you just choose your next selection and it sort of moves automatically. But I just like the idea of it. And so that's kind of what we're working on at the moment. And yeah, so we've got as far as yes, thank you. I was going to say I might be able to show off a bit of the game as well. Let me get rid of that one there. Now I'm hoping I haven't. So if I just go into I can't remember what deck I've put together. Let's see if the game sort of runs at the moment. It should be okay. I just need to go on play maximized. I've got a sort of random deck together. Let's see. Have we created an error message? Is everything fine? Is it just loading? Oh yeah. Actually, no. I think it might be okay. I think it is just the first time you try and load it, it just takes a while because it's got quite a lot to pick up. I hope. Yeah, I think we're fine. Hold on. Yeah. So this is the general idea of the game. This thing here, it's going to arrive soon, and you can see it sort of jumping closer. And you've got to play cards to build up your army, so that when it arrives. Now, as it is, I've got the basic starter deck, and I'm fighting quite a late enemy. So I'm actually at quite a big disadvantage here, but we'll sort of play it through. So, I mean, ideally, you'll have a better deck by the time you're fighting him. But this is just as a bit of a sort of play test. So we want this one here. Probably want one of these. And then see how it all goes. So the Rangers are attacking every turn. And you've got your attackers who, they either die if they're not armoured, but they do 1 damage each. And the armoured ones, they just attack and then lose their armour. So this is why we've still got some attackers left. I always want to play this, but I think it's probably a bit of a dangerous play. Oh yeah. Right. Let's have a look. So we've got. Oh yeah. So I think we're actually. Oh yeah. So this guy, he's also putting rubbish in my deck, which is quite bad. I mean, you know what? We're giving a bit of a run for his money, but it's just we've got such a comparatively weak deck, and our hand is being filled with literal rubbish. So I think the time for actually trying to defend everything is kind of gone. So I think we just put on as much attackers as we can. but yeah, like I say, a terrible example because I've got a rubbish deck that yeah, and he's starting to destroy that. Anyway, right. So we'll call it a no score draw. You know, it was a close game. You know, he's probably thinking, "Ooh, you know, I was lucky," but no, I got out of it. Oh yes. Oh yes. So by the way, as well, Grumble of Pugs. He's working on. Actually, I need to add you onto my Nightbot. I think I haven't got it yet. Let's just copy. Sorry, I'm just getting your name so I can add you onto the. If you want to put a link, let me just Control V. I put you. Yeah. So if ever you did want to put a link, do completely 100% feel free, because like I say, it's like you had me the moment you said, "Oh, this game's going to be a bit like Celeste." I was like, "Yes, you've already sold it to me," and I played it, and it's absolutely wonderful, gorgeous little 2D platformer that Grumble of Pugs is working on, called Bat something. I've forgotten now, but it's looking brilliant. Right. Anyway, we're back onto our coding. We're looking to actually get movement working. So, Megabat, nice. Ah, yeah. and I hope I can build that up. Let's go. Click on this link. Here we go. So we've got Megabat here. I've been meaning to. I still haven't actually got round to playing it again since, but I'm looking forward to it. In fact, it's probably, I'm going to actually have a little, get the latest version, hopefully tonight, if not, definitely the weekend. But yeah, it's absolutely genuine. If you like Celeste, if you like that sort of quite technical sort of puzzle platformer, I suppose, absolutely it covers it really does. It just looks a lot of fun. And yeah, anyway. Oh yeah. Right, rock and roll. Anyway, I thought I'd right, anyway, let's get rocking. Right. At the moment we're trying to move in a direction. So first of all, we're gonna have a private, I say first of all, I've actually made private I enumerator. I've made a few steps, but we're gonna move in a direction routine and direction to move, and we're just going to put all of this code into our coroutine, and we're going to just here start coroutine, move in a direction routine. Oh, this is all the things. Yes, the autocorrect just did exactly what I wanted it to do. Fantastic. Right, and we're going to have moving. Oh, we need to make a boolean called moving as well, don't we? So public bool moving. Moving equals true. Moving equals false. Then we're going to have all of our important code here. So first of all, we're making sure this bit of code here is working on making sure. Has the music stopped? What have I done? Oh, I've just silenced it. Apologies. It's still quite quiet, but that's okay. So this bit of code here is making sure that it faces in the right direction, and then we're then going to have our bit where it's moving. And here's where it gets clever. We're going to check the tile int of so this is going to be weird. So I'm just going to have bool. We're going to make this. We're going to simple can move equals. Now this is where it gets a little bit confusing, but you got to stick with me on this. Map test script dot get map tile int. All right, And then we're going to have Nina X pos, comma Nina Y pos. Oh yes, hold on, actually no. Let's just have int can move equals that. But what we also need to do is go plus underscore map test script dot x range 1. Oh, actually no, this doesn't quite work, does it? No, that's fine. There will be an easier way. I might have to do a bit of a complicated switch statement, but that's okay. Switch, switch direction to move. We'll come back to that. We might get rid of that, but we'll find out. Case direction dot left break. Oh, 35 levels. Oh wow, that's really cool actually. Because yeah, I think I played it when there was only like maybe 12 or 15. But yeah, really cool. Right. So. So we're going to have int. Sorry, I've been holding this coffee. With the anticipation of drinking it, but I've been too excited in coding and being raided. Everything's too exciting. I've got to calm down with a nice drink that is filled with caffeine. That's the best way. Int. So let's go. I'm just going to have int. We just call it temporarily move int equals 0. And then move int equals Control C, Control V. And if it's left, then that's x minus 1. Yeah. And then we just need to do the same for all of these. So for up, it's going to be y plus 1. Yeah, there is an easier way of doing this, but I don't think we need to overcomplicate this. Right, it's going to be Nina X pos plus 1, and for down, it's going to be Nina Y pos minus 1. Okay. So this is essentially, we're working out, so if there's water, then the move int's going to be 0, but if there's land, it's going to be 1. So now, if move int is equal to 1, then we need to then move in the direction. So first of all, let's go change the let's change our X pos. So right. Oh, I did have another way of doing this, but I'm not going to worry. We're not going to worry too much. So Control C, Control V. Oh, I meant to do a switch statement. Hold on. We want to actually copy all of this and then just pick out the bits that we want. And what I quite like is you can still turn to face something So this makes sense. So if it's left, we're just going to have Nina. Yeah, we're literally just going to change the relevant X and Y position. So we're going to sort of essentially we're changing everything minus equals 1, and then so the moment this is just changing all of the where it is in code, but we haven't actually changed anything as far as actually moving yet. And then once we've done this, we'll then be able to actually make the movements, which shouldn't be too difficult, to be honest. We need plus equals there. Okay, so what am I doing here? This whole switch statement is entirely here just so that it physically changes this X and Y position that it's representing. Oh yes! Ah, cool. Hold on. I think I've done it now. Rumpel Town. Yes, cool. The link is in the chat at the moment. If you want to play my game, it's still kind of early stages, but hopefully you'll enjoy it. If you like, I think at the moment the best selling thing is if you absolutely love Slay the Spire, you might quite like this. Right, I don't want to, it's like it's an interesting take on Slay the Spire. There is a sort of card drafting element. There's a few cards which are probably a bit too good, a few which are a little bit too weak. If you see a card that you think is, why would anyone ever draft this? You're probably not alone in that, and it might be because it's a terrible card. But that's, if you wanted to give it a download, give it a try, I would be very much appreciative. And you can let me know. I think I've left an email there, but you can do a personal message on Twitch, or and you can let me know. Or like if you're into my stream, you can tell me what you think was good, what you think was bad. It'd be great to hear, because obviously I was having a discussion with Lakey earlier about how when you're developing a game, it's like the best way of describing it is it's trying to look at a painting if you think it's good, but if you're the one who's making it, it's like your head is right up close to it, so you won't be able to see certain things. So it'd be really good to actually get some feedback. Right, so this bit we have changed the direction. Now we just need to physically move in the direction. So first of all, how do we do this? Let me just have a quick look. Actually, I don't think this is too hard, to be honest. I need to have a quick look. Sorry, I'm trying to work out what this bridge int is for. It probably made a lot of sense at the time, but I have no idea what it's about now. Okay, so we just need access to these map tile trans. And now, I just want to check that we are actually, how we're actually creating them. Let me just have another quick stare, check we're, so it's basically this position. Oh yeah, no, actually, you know what? This makes more sense. No, actually, it's fine. Yeah, map tile trans. Yeah, so we have got access. I was just checking that we still have created an empty game object where there isn't any land, and we have. So that's absolutely fine. So int chum equals mover.instance move to point, and this will be Nina trans, and we're going to move it to oh yeah, we've actually, now that we've set this, now that we've actually set the position, we can just have underscore map test script dot map tile trans Nina xpos Nina ypos, and we'll have it over, let's try half a second for the time being. That might be a little bit too fast or a little bit slow. Oh, that we just, dot position. Okay, right. So that's going to move it in the position, but we also want to do the little run animation. So, move sprites. So sprite. We're going to create, we're just going to call move sprites equals null. And now, yeah, we're just going to copy all of this. Control C, Control V. And in this bit here, we're going to have move sprites equals, and then I'm going to come over here, resource, no, equals all of these ones here. Hopefully I can just be a bit cheeky and just go, yeah, that kind of works, doesn't it? And then we just need to put break, I think, at the end of it. Okay, so we've now got access to these move sprites, and we're just going to use our little int charm equals aaron.instance.play forward continuously. We're getting a hold of our sprite renderer to do the animating, and then now that we've assigned all these move sprites to the correct sprites that we've got there, I'm just going to simply put move sprites, and the finishing sprite we'll have as oh yeah, I probably better actually deal with that as well. So we probably want finishing sprites. So we're just going to do a little bit more. So it's just going to be a single sprite. So sprite finishing sprite equals null. And then, so we've got hold of the moving ones. We just kind of want, at the end here, we want to have the finishing sprite equals idle left sprite 0. And then we just need to do the same for all of these, that's fine. Oh, I didn't quite get my thing done in time. I did have a plan of seeing if I could get all of this ready by 2 minutes past 4, but we have slightly missed that. So this will be left up sprites, right sprites, and down. Right. And then we need to have the word break at the end as well. So break. Oh no 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 no! Why would you ever why would you ever think that was the default? No. I didn't even know that was a thing. Well, we've learned something now. I just wanted you to put break. Anyway, looks like I'll just have to type it in manually, like a fool. Break. I literally, the whole concept of GoTo, bear in mind, GoTo is like one of the most dangerous things ever because it's so easy for you to go to the wrong thing, then it cycles round and you create an infinite loop. It's like, I thought we had evolved past the concept of GoTo. Anyway, that will be finishing sprite. Just for continuity, I'm just going to have that lowercase there. Just going to do that, and I think we'll just have anim speed. Okay, and actually we didn't need to have int charm, we can just have it like that. Okay, and now while yeah, well, I mean, like, legitimately, I mean, like, I've only been coding for like about 8 years, and I remember very, very early on it was talking about how GoTo works and how, like, essentially all of the functions internally, they're essentially doing a GoTo function so it can get to certain things, but how it's very impractical to actually put in real GoTo functions, because, you know, it can lead to so many problems very easily. S2F bool chum So what's happening at this precise moment? Now we just want to have I suppose, let me have a think, because we kind of want to just stop the run animation now. So in fact we probably should have int chom equals that, and I think we're just going to have aaron.instance.cancel. Oh yeah, we can actually have cancel animation here, and I can just have Nina SR, and hopefully, so have we nailed all the things that we need to do? I think so. At some point, about like half an hour ago, I introduced this buffer vec, which will make sense quite shortly, and hopefully I might even be able to illustrate exactly why we need a buffer vec as well. So has this done all the things that we want it to do? I think this is looking okay. Right, let's see if we got any, if we're going to be attacked by any error messages. No. No. Okay. All right. Let's give this a try. Okay. All right. No pressure. Actually, I'll have it back on play focused, so we can get a better look at it, because I haven't dealt with the camera at all at any point. Right. So is this going to work? Oh no, of course, I haven't actually changed the thing yet. Sorry. Okay, sorry. It's still doing exactly the thing that I told it to do, which isn't what I wanted it to do. Okay, so if not moving, then we're going to have move in a direction. That's what we wanted. Okay. Yeah. Oh. Right, okay, I know, it's okay, right. I reckon this time, I mean, I think that's the thing, whenever I do sometimes go into this trance where I'm in the coding for ages. Right, so, this time. Okay. Alright, I obviously got the original coordinates wrong, but this is looking quite good. Okay, now, one thing which is kind of, if you look, it looks like I'm on the water, but I'm actually on this tile here, this tile. So the buffer vec will, and we can actually do the maths now to work out exactly how big we want the buffer vec to be, so that it's in the middle of the tile. So if I go like this, and have it say there, I've just got to work out what it needs to be in the centre of this tile. That's not that. Map tile. So that's 1.5. Is it an extra 0.15? It's probably a really much easier way of working this out. No, it's 0.25. I think buffer vec is 0.25. So yeah, what we need to do is when we're actually moving. So the first movement is going to look weird, but that's fine. We've accepted that. It's going to be plus buffer vec, and I think we're going to have the buffer vec as let me go. We're going to have our buffer vec as where is it? I think that just needs to be 0.25. So yeah, like I say, the first movement's not going to work, but hopefully it will start looking okay. Right, so forget this first movement. This first movement doesn't matter. Okay. Right, yeah, so yeah, and also if you look, hold on. So it looks like we can wander around this island how we like. But if I try to go into water, it won't let me, but it will still face the direction. So it looks like, yeah, this is kind of more or less. And also I can jam the keys as much as I like. Oh, maybe not. Let's have a look. Yeah. So I want to make sure that, yeah, so it's not queuing up, yeah. And the only reason I've done this will just make life a lot easier for when I'm actually putting everything together. So I just got to remember the exact actual coordinate of where 3 actually is. But yeah, okay, right. So we're making some progress here. Sorry, yeah, I quite like it. Right. So why have I done all of this? Because what we want to do soon is give Nina like a long, like a list of saying like go up, 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 right or something to move to a set place. But now that we know that we can do this without too much problems, yeah, we're kind of like we're kind of in business. We're doing good. Okay, so what we kind of want to do, I think the game should start when you're actually on the first island and fighting a monster that's going to be somewhere in this central place. So I think the whatever spot this is, which I don't even think I can find out too easily, is going to be the starting coordinates. So let's actually have a little. Let's try and work out. Oh, this is not going to be super easy. There's I think, let's have a look. It's something like 3 and 5. So central. So we're actually going to when on here. We're going to, yeah, because we need to work out exactly where we want to summon and where we want to move to. Which, yeah. So when we're creating everything, I think it's 3, 5, and we actually want to instantiate not at 0, but we want to instantiate at map tile trans 3, 5, and like I say, this will be tidied up because obviously after every combat we're going to have to go back into this, which is why I'm not like, I don't like having these integers here, but it's just like to start off makes a lot of sense. So is this actually, have I picked the exact correct number? So this is saying 3, 5. I think I've got it just slightly wrong. So, oh, in fact, I just thought, here's the best cheat. We can actually just look at our coordinates of Nina. We can keep an eye. So, yeah, so that looks like it's 3, 4. And that'll be 3. Oh, maybe that was. Yeah, okay. So 3, 5 I think was correct, actually. Let me just try having another look, seeing if I've done something wrong. Oh, hold on. I think I know the problem. It's because I didn't. When it's summoned, it's not got it's not giving it the buffer vec. So for the time being, again, this is not anything. We're going to change this. We're going to make it look better a bit later, but this is just going to be 0.0f, 2.5. No, 0.25. 0.25f. Okay, so I think that should. Let's just double check that I'm not going crazy. Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, VBAX, rock and roll, how's it rocking? Sorry, I was miles away. Right, yeah, so it's now summoning at the point where we wanted to summon. But what we will need to do is we're going to have to look at a progress int as to where we're summoning exactly. So we'll have to kind of remember, and for the time being, I think we keep it held. We keep the actual saved XY coordinates somewhere in this test map, which we'll eventually put into the map that we're going to save from like screen to screen. But yeah, I think that's fine. So if I just have, if we actually save public int Nina X, Nina Y, and where we've got this devilish 3-5, we're just going to have Nina X, Nina Y, and then Nina X. Nina Y. And we can just change that to 3-5. So that way, if we change this, we might be able to make it so that, right. So where are we? We're on here, map test script, Nina X, Nina Y. Yeah, I think 3 and 5, and hopefully we should all still be working. That's perfect. Okay, right. So that's going to be our basic starting position. Now, what we want to make it so that our actual camera. Let's just try and work out, because I want it to be that the camera is generally focused, looking at the central tile of each of these islands, which shouldn't be too hard. So we're going to have a function probably on this map test script. Yep, just closed everything. We're just going to have public void focus camera on current central island. And I guess we still call it public int. We'll call this progress int because we're looking to progress int. Yeah. And we probably need access. We don't actually need access to the camera, do we? We just need access to the camera trans. How do we do that? What's the most easy way? The easiest way of doing that is simply just attaching all of this code over to the main camera. But yeah, there has got to be an easier way of doing this. I'll do the easy way. So we're just going to have. I'm just going to do the easy way that we'll work out a better way later. So we're going to have public transform cam trans, and I'm simply like. Yeah, because we don't really... No. Camera.main, that's it. Sorry, ignore me. Forget all of that. So we'll still need a cam trans, and we need a public camera main cam. And then upon awake, we're going to... have main cam equals, and I believe it's just camera.main, and then cam trans equals main cam dot get component transform. Okay, so we've got access to our transform now, and we're going to have a little function here where we're going to sort of move the camera and move the camera over to the central island that we're currently on. So that will be, so let's just say because I've also I'm trying to work out if I want it every time that the camera always starts in the bottom left and it sort of scrolls over, and I'm not super sure if that's okay. In fact, let's get a bit of an idea of dimensions that we kind of want. So if I have, let me just try. Does that actually change anything? No, this is what we need to do. So let's work under the impression we're doing a 16:9 game. Control Z. We want to change the camera. So we just got to kind of work out exactly. So it would, yeah, we need to work out basically it's this orthographic number as to how much we want to zoom in and out. So we kind of want it roughly maybe 2.5, so you get a bit of an idea, but then there'll be another button that can zoom out and go like straight into the corner. Yeah, that's fine. So I think it starts at 5 and goes into 2. That's fine. Okay, sorry, just calculating numbers in my head so we can put this function together. So focus camera on central island. And I'm going to have a little boolean, which is going to say, I'm just going to call it click. And that will, again, it will make sense a bit later in the game. So private IEnumerator, focus camera on current central island, bool click. The reason I want it to click is because when it's actually moving the camera over, I want it to just as though like upon summoning it just starts there. I don't want it to move from one like corner to move over. So if it's click, then it's going to skip a certain part of it. So let's go back to focus camera on current central island. Okay, and we'll have yeah, well that's enough to get on with for the time being. So let's start coroutine. Oh, that needed to be routine, didn't it? Click. Oh yeah, I need one more brackets. Okay, now we'll have somewhere where we've got all our booleans. Have we got any booleans at the moment? No, we don't. So right at the bottom here, I'm going to have public bool cam busy. All right, we're going to have cam busy equals true, and cam busy equals false. Right, and then we're going to just do the function. Okay, so if open brackets not click, I'm going to have int chum equals 0. Okay. If not click, then we actually want the camera to move over. Else cam trans dot position equals new vector 3 central point trans progress int dot. Oh wow! Oh, fair play. So I think when I was trying to get my game on when I was trying to get Boxitaire on the Google Play Store, the 3 letters API came up a lot there, and there were so many combinations of 3 different letters that came up that none of them made any sense to me. So I was seeing the word NDK, SDK, API, and like a bunch of them, and it was almost as though they were like, come on, you must know what an NDK is. And I think one of the, and I was like, for the life of me, I was thinking this is way so like, and I think I even read what it stood for, like the actual, like what the 3 letters API stand for, but I still couldn't quite, my brain couldn't quite translate as to what that actually meant. Right, dot position dot x central point trans progress int dot position dot y, and that should be, I believe, minus 10. Okay. And so we can actually, I think we just get this vector, so we just, vector 3 destination vec equals control X destination vec. So yeah, because minus 10 is how far the camera is on the Z away. Oh, okay, that is actually, see, that, I'm literally learning stuff now. I didn't know that. So to be more specific, I'm making a wrapper for a, oh, right, okay, fair enough. Okay, see, it still does, I think certain bits make sort of sense. I think the best way of describing it is, imagine a big jigsaw puzzle of like, what does API mean? And it's a jigsaw puzzle where you put in all the pieces. And so far I've been given a multitude of pieces, none which I can click together. But I think now that you've actually just said it's a general term, now things are actually starting to make, I'm starting to get enough pieces so I can be like, oh, I know what it is now. But it's still a bit confusing. Chum equals mover.instance.move to point camtrans destination vec, and let's just say 1 second for the time being, while mover.instance.s2f bool chum. So this is just waiting for it to move into place before it does anything else. Yeah, I think that's good. Let's have a look. How you interact with a program using code. Okay, all right, that's pretty useful. I do appreciate that. Which could be anything from web requests just to simple functions. Okay. So I mean, it's in a way, it's a it is kind of, so am I right in saying that, let's just say this little function here, would that count as being an API? Create methods for a class. Oh, okay. Oh, so API is a proper sort of like, oh, it covers a lot of things. Okay, that's really good to know. Ah. Okay. All right. Okay. Again, more of the pieces are starting to be put together. It's part of that class's API. Ah. Okay. All right. See, things are actually starting to make a bit more sense now. Yeah. See, I feel this is brilliant. I love these streams. I just get to learn. I get to learn so much. I know, in a way, I want to. I kind of like every now and then I'm like, oh, I want it, but it's just I generally find I'm learning more than I'm sort of teaching anyone. But this is brilliant. Yeah. Okay. So that will move over there. I think we do have another boolean somewhere, which is going to be public bool. Cam focused. That'll, yeah. So, now, if not cam focused, float auth size equals let's see what's the best way of doing this. I'm just going to have equals 5. Yeah, we'll change that in a little bit. Oh yeah. Ah, yes. Okay. All right. No. Okay. So, and when you use the word wrapper, like again, I always think of wrapping as though sort of like you have a sort of screen wrap. But yeah, that's really cool. So actually, I just thought. By the way, I think I've added you onto my list already. But if you did want to put a link down, I can. I'm happy to have a little look if your game is. Yeah, ready. A wrapper is in context. The general means of the. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Right. I think my head's gonna. It's probably like. What's the word? Input overload. It's quite a lot to take on board in one go, but it's most commonly a function API helps you. Yeah, okay, that's good. That's good actually. Yeah, okay. Because I was actually speaking to someone at my work who's it is weird because believe it or not, he's a consultant general surgeon. He's very high up in the in the hospital business, and he incidentally runs websites as well, and he was talking about APIs, and I was like, whoa, what is he, is yeah, but now I can actually I can now make a bit more sense from it. Float time equals 0 while time is less than 1. Time plus equals time dot delta time. Ortho size equals 5 minus open brackets. Actually, no, we'll go 5.0f minus time times by 2.5f. So we're looking to get to 2.5. So as the time goes up, this number is getting ever closer to 2.5. And then we just want to have main cam dot ortho size equals ortho size. Oh yeah. Right. Oh, I see. Yes. No, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Rambling's fun. I like rambling. I think there's because it might be one of those certain blocks in my brain, because I know I've got a friend who, when I was trying to explain how cricket works, though he would say something like, well, I don't know, whenever everyone says, oh, we've taken a wicket, he couldn't quite grasp that it's like, so the actual things are wickets, and then when they bowl someone out, it counts as a wicket. Have you just got two? Does the wicket mean two entirely different things? And I was thinking, no, you've bowled out the batsman, which means that you've taken a wicket. But he just couldn't quite, and I feel like I reckon it's, like I say, the jigsaw puzzles are still coming together, but yeah, it's just a little bit. It would just take a little while for my brain to just kind of absorb the information. So if cam not focused, anyway, we want to focus on to that. That's good. I'm just having a look. So that's going to essentially pan the camera out, and then we just want to have main cam dot orthographic size equals 2.5f. Okay, so does this work? Why is that? What's wrong with that? Oh yeah. Oh, I guess because that's fine. So I think this should all work. And I will just have a little up here. We just have void update if input dot get key down. Let's say Q. No, actually no, that's a bit too far away. Let R. Keycode dot R. Then we're going to focus camera on Central Island, and we'll have it as false. And I kind of want to have another little thing if cam is not busy. So this is just going to be to see if we can get the camera to move. So R is the key number. Let's have a look. So I'm going to press R, and what we're hoping to see, in fact, let's go full screen so I can be in full disappointment when it doesn't work. Okay, right, let's go. Yes, and I know what's wrong. Everything's fine. That's actually okay. That's still okay. We're still relax. Just sort of take my hand here. It's like I forgot to put in yield return null. Control S. Let's try again. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Now we want, again, I'm just going to do them all in keys. Oh, yes. Oh, sorry, yes. Oh, wicked. Right, okay, let's have a look. One sec. If I just click there. I'll see if I can make sense. Yeah, let's have a look. Right. Oh, right. Oh, cool. So, oh, I see. Yes. Oh yes, okay, no, that's cool. I'm going to actually have a look at that, and I'll be able to make more sense of it. So yeah, Vivax, you got to remind me. Did you say you're making a? What have I done? Everything's gone. Everything's gone away. Are you making a? Like, are you actually working on a game at the moment? Wait, oh yeah. Oh, you mentioned. Oh, this is the API. Right. Oh yes. So I forced myself to do that. Whether the docs are good. Yeah, I'm sure they are good. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I don't blame you at all. It can be pretty exhausting. But yeah, no, that's really cool. Right. So now I'm just going to experiment with something. So now if I were to, we've got this map test instance and we've got this progress in. Now if I was to do say 2 here, I think this won't quite work, but let's see what happens. Yeah. That's fair. That's kind of what I thought was going to happen. So what we kind of want to happen is we might not even need this. Yeah, actually we can. So if cam not focus, we still want that and have cam focused equals true. But I kind of like the idea of us actually zooming out beforehand. So if cam focused, then we're going to essentially do all this code again, but in reverse. Hopefully this won't alter. I hope this doesn't affect that, but let's find out. Float ortho size equals 2.5 f, and then that is going to have 2.5 f plus that, and then that's going to finish as 5.0 f. So with any, and then that cam focused equals false. We probably don't need this boolean quite as much, but I like the idea that it starts zoomed out and moves in, but then when you're moving to the next one, it zooms out and moves in again. Oh yes! Oh, CodeRad Games! Let's rock! Oh wow! Yeah, sorry. It's, I've been doing a sort of heavy old stream. There's been quite a bit going on. We're trying to make a sort of map. But how's everything rocking with you, man? Yeah. Oh, wicked. Oh yes. Right, we're gonna give this a test. Oh yes, oh that's good to hear. It's like in my head, I keep thinking it's like I'm so excited to play a new game. I'm like I want to play it now. I don't want to wait till next year. It's like it's looking really good. Yeah, you might have heard I played Lakier's game. I spent quite a lot of hours playing Lakier's game, Wormhole Adventurer, and yeah, absolutely brilliant. I'm looking, yeah. Right, so this is looking okay. Let's see if this works. So I'm going to press R to begin with, which will zoom in on there. Now, if I was to press R again, it should just zoom out and go back in. Yes, that's fine. But if we were to move to another island, progress into, say, 5, and then we try it again. Yeah, okay, that's good. So we're making, yeah, we're getting there. Like I say, this is all very sort of particular code that we might not be... Oh yeah, so I'm still actually working on the same game, believe it or not, but I'm actually improving the system that's not... When you're not in combat and you're going from one place to the next, I'm trying to sort of make sense of it. I was trying to make a system which generally just feels more fun and more interactive. So what we've been working on so far is... if I press, is the ability for the camera to move from one island to the next, and you can actually move around, like move around the island, and so yeah, and it's not like I haven't worked out exactly how we're going to fit all this in, but this is going to be the idea. Is when you're actually playing the game, there's going to be sort of tiles, and you just literally just click on it, and then this little Nina will sort of will jump on the button. So it's still going to play similarly to how it did, but I just wanted to actually just kind of create a system so that it makes a bit more sense. So right, where are we working next? I think, let's see. What we need to do now is we need to work out a way of giving... sorry, I need to actually have another look. We need to work out a way of getting Nina to move to where it actually bridges. So it'd be this point here. The actual maths involved... no, they're all individual sprites. So hold on, if I go... Yeah, like because I kind of fell in love with Asseprite, which is the tool needing to draw things. I realised I can just make a bunch of different 3D sprites. I mean, sorry, 2D sprites to put everything together. So I just thought, yeah, I'm going to just stick with even though it probably makes sense, like because I think a lot of people are using the actual animator tool within Unity, which is probably really, really good. I've heard mostly positive things about it, but in my head I was like, oh no, I want to have exact manipulation over what sprite I'm using at what time. So yeah, that's what I thought I'd try. Anyway, right, so we need to actually do, so pathfinding. Right, to my earlier discussion earlier, pathfinding. So what we kind of probably need to do is... I think we're going to have to create a bunch more X's and Y's. So int central island start X. I think that's right. Yeah, so this will take just a sort of a little bit of thinking here, because we want to work out where the beginning of the beginning of each island and the end of each island. And what I mean by that is the beginning is where the bridge it comes from, and the end is where the bridge goes to. So islands, so we just need to int central island start Y, and then Control V, central island end X. And that'll be end Y. And so whenever we're creating these central island trans, so the central islands is just the central tile of each islands. So let's go into here. Let's go, and actually, why not have Central Island pos? So let's have another one. Even though this looks ugly, I think this will still be fine. Central Island pos x. Okay. So yeah, I've got a plan. We're going to kind of do all the coding, and then hopefully it will make sense as I sort of go through it. Oh no, it's procedurally generated. That's what I was. So I mean, one thing which I'm actually really like quite proud of is I'll see if I can show. I mean, like it's probably old school stuff that everyone is thinking, well, this is easy. But I was quite proud of it. I've got land. If I go land, is it this one here? So what we're looking at here is a grid of 16 by 16 tiles, right? And if you actually go on Byron, if we're only looking at specifically the left side here, we're just looking at up, down, left and right. So left and then up, then left up, and it's basically almost going through binary. So then it's right and then right, left. You know, just imagine it's sort of going up in binary here. And like kind of it works over there, and then I realise it's a whole extra confusion when you've got yeah, and I did this sort of like, it's, you know, when you kind of come up with an idea in your head, you think, I hope this works, and it kind of did. It's just like a massive problem, which is the fact that if you have like 4 bits of land together, like how are you going to make sure to know that the corners are going to be filled in? Which, yeah, it is quite hard to explain, but like, and that took me a long time to actually try and work that out. But I thought if I actually just had 256 tiles, then that covers every type of tile that can occur. But also, as you'll notice, all of these top ones are exactly the same. It's just I've used a very sort of complex binary sort of system so that it works out. It basically just has a number for each side, and it basically works out exactly which one it is. Like if I was I only just about understand it, but yeah, it was fun putting together. It's like, again, this is one of those times, I don't know if you do this, but in my coding it's where I actually go to sleep and my brain then wakes me up to tell me like, oh, by the way, this is how you do this problem, and I just thought, yes. And so I just drew this massive bunch of tiles. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like the thing is there's probably, I'm sure there's going to be a better, more efficient method. But this is how my brain sort of tackled that problem. So yeah, yeah. It's definitely one of my sort of prouder achievements. Right. So we've got all of this. What's the purpose of all this? I will let you know. So what we're doing is we want to set all of this to all these central point trans. So let's get to that. So when we are creating the destiny map, at what point are we creating central point trans? Okay. Over here. Okay. So what we also want is while we're again, can't remember exactly where we were going with here. So central pos x equals new int, and that will be that, and central pos y equals new int. Press the wrong thing. Width of island times by height of island. That is brilliant. So we're creating this. This is just so we have an easier reference point to where the actual central points are as far as x and y go. So central, and I think it's just this number here. So if I just have central point X equals, and I think it's just that, Control C. Oh, actually, oh, hold on, this might require just a little bit more thought. Oh yes, of course, yeah, we actually need to use a bit more of this code. I'm not using all of it. Let me just highlight this bit here. Oh no, oh yeah, no, I think it's Control C. So we just want to find out what the actual X point is. Equals. So these are all just integers. So all we actually need to do, I think the X is that one. And the Y is that. Okay. Yeah, this will make sense in a little bit. And then we're going to work out on the bridges later. But first of all, we're just going to check that each central point trans, because the reason it gets confusing is because I need it to worm up. Yes, exactly. I completely agree, right? Technically, you don't need the entire 255. You, like, when I was first putting it together, you only need 16, because if you think, if you have a binary of like 4 zeros, there's only 16 combinations. But here's where it gets complicated. What if you have an island there, and then another one, bottom left, right? And you have 2 tiles connecting it, right? If we only had 16, what would happen with all the tiles? There would be a little gap of water in between each one, which would still work and it wouldn't be a problem. But this actually deals, yeah, like, okay, cool, yeah, it sort of clicked, yeah. So the only times you ever actually need to do with that is when you have specifically like an up and a right, then it needs to check there. But if you have an up and a down or something, then it doesn't matter, you don't need it. But the reason that I did something as complicated as this is, like, yeah, because like I say, these are exactly the same, but it only actually comes into play when you have like here, where it's up and left, and whether yeah, and it sort of basically covers every situation. Yeah, like, okay, cool, like, yeah, like it did, like, because I that was one of those things where I just could not work out an easy method until I just thought, you know, if I just have to, because you don't technically need 250 like 6 tiles, but by having it in that almost binary format, yeah, have used. This is one of those points, right, where what I do, I put my hand I put my head into my hands and start crying. I was like, there's a tile map editor in ASAP, right? No. I mean, I didn't actually know. Okay, it's only in beta. Okay. Okay, no, okay, that actually does, that makes me feel a bit better. I just had this worry that was a feature that was there the whole time. It's like, what about... so I'm still quite happy. It's very stable and very, very good. Oh yeah, I might have to look at, as it is, I feel like I've kind of covered it, but I've kind of done the many extra miles in order to do it, but yeah, in all honesty, no, I haven't looked at that, but I'm slightly regretting that fact. So where does that bracket start? So I think Control C. What we're going to do, I'm going to put this in. Oh, what have I done? Get out of here. Because this did make sense at the time, and I'm kind of looking at, this is something that I was working on last week. So I think that's all we kind of need. I just want to check that these central X position, XY positions do relate to, yeah, do actually relate to where they're actually going. So let's let's give that a check. So we're just going to check the XY positions, check that they are. So in theory, this central point trans should be, I think, 5-5 to begin with. So it should be 5-5, then maybe 15-5. Yeah, 15-5. So let's have a look. So central point trans is this one here, which is, I believe, 5-5. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Yeah. So 5-5. And if we go back up here, and we created a bunch of, oh, did I make them private? What am I doing wrong here? Did I just? I might have just made them private. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I just didn't give them anything at all, and it defaults to private. So here I'm going to go Shift Alt and go down like this, and have and just write public. So you can kind of type it all in one go. That's better. Okay, we'll have another look at that. So we're just looking at the central XPOS positions. Yeah. Oh yeah, and I'm actually going to bear that in mind. I'm going to, yeah, that's really important. And I mean, do you know if it deals with the problem which I was talking about how, like, if you have a land like here and here and here, how does this know whether to cover the hole, and it's not just going to have a hole in the middle there? Yeah. Right, anyway. Let's go. Ah, right. Oh, it's got that covered as well. So there are 30 points. The X is 5. This actually looks perfect. This is the exact numbers that we were after. That's fine. And this one, it should go up 5. Yeah, 5, 5, 5, 5. Yeah, all of this is exactly what we're after. Right, brilliant. Now that we've got that, we're now going to try and work out the slightly more complicated issue of where the beginning of each map is and the end of each map. So yeah, we'll get that. Oh yeah, it's a good question. I would assume that it would be making just the tile set so that when you're actually in Unity you can then make the game, but I don't know. Right. Right, where are we up to? So we have got those. At what point did I make the bridge? Turn this into an island. Bridge 1 island. That's good. Okay. So, what we need to do... Yeah. So this is the point here, where we're essentially creating a bridge, and it's going in a direction. So this might be slightly trickier than I thought. Having said that, with this, it might not be quite as difficult. So this is the point where it's not only working out the it's basically creating the bridge from one island to the next, but it's also working out the location of which it's going. Turning this tile into an island. Oh yeah, so this is the bit where we're creating essentially a 5x5 grid. It is true. I mean, to be fair, it takes up it doesn't actually take up too much space. It's only because it's only like 32 by 32 pixels, I think, each tile. So it's super painful. It's logic is super painful if you use its plugin. It's that is fair enough. I think the thing which I'm always slightly fearful of right? And don't get me wrong, I wouldn't recommend this method to anyone else who's ever coding, but I don't like relying on like essentially code, even if it's inbuilt to Unity. I don't like relying on things where I don't fully understand what's happening. And sometimes, because I think like, you know, years ago now, I was working on a sort of 3D platformer, and I was trying to create everything, and there was a like I wanted to make sure that like if you had a block, you could and you tried to run into it, you just wouldn't move any forward. It just keeps smashing it. It would keep running, and I noticed that if you wiggled, you could always just clip through it. And I was like, and I couldn't for the life of me work out why that happened. And I just made that sort of decision early on. I was thinking, you know what, I don't like using, you know, it's like even though the Unity physics engine is apparently world renowned and loads of games use it, I just can never, you know, I'm like, why am I, you know, I'm clearly trying to run into this block. This should be stopping me, but you can just kind of clip your way in. Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Oh, nice. Oh, cool. Or you could use my system, which involves creating 256 different tiles. It's easy. Right. So, we need to work out where the bridges are. Yeah, so let me. Yeah, so I'm just trying to work out how I can get the information needed. Yeah, and this just requires just a little bit of thought. So, oh no, it's not going to be too hard. I think. In fact, if I go like that, go to definition. I say it's not going to be too difficult. Like I think, because what I kind of want to do is, yeah, it's very close because basically we can get the information that we need from the beginning of the bridge and the end of the bridge. We just need to work out what tiles it is. Oh man. Right, I've got to work out if I can actually, if my brain is capable of doing this calculation. This is quite a difficult one. Right, so, one. Okay, turn this into an island. That's good. So let's find out what's happening in this bit of code again. Let's go to definition. So we're putting in an X and a Y coordinate. Oh right, okay. So we just need to assign each one of these central islands which a bridge starter and a bridge ender. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a little break from this because I reckon I can do it, but I just can't quite do it yet. I'm going to have a little look at the cards and try and make any obvious improvements, or like any sort of tone downs, any tone, just yeah, like because yeah, just while I'm sort of just letting my brain regenerate a little bit because I've realised yeah, it's a little bit trickier because of how I've coded it. It's going to be a little bit tougher than I thought. Let's have a look. Oh, fair enough. I tell you what, Gliss, absolutely thanks so much for sticking around. Yeah, as I say, I might even be buffing the Gliss Zerka card. We'll see, because I kind of want to make it 2, 1, and 0 mana instead of 3, 2, and 1. So it's going to be cheaper to cast. Anyway, but yeah, thanks so much for sticking around, man. Right, let's rock. Okay, so where are we? Sprites. Yeah. Oh, wicked. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and by the way, like I'm not sure if Lakia or Code Rad are in the chat at the moment. I've got like I've actually drawn a card for Code Rad. It's going to be quite a fun card, which is like it's a sort of synergy card that works with cards that give you that sort of buff your ready camp. I've done the artwork, but I haven't actually introduced that card yet because it's going to be quite difficult. But the idea is it's going to burn all of your ready camps and you're going to get a bunch of troops as a result. So it's going to be like you press that as your last, it's like you press it so that you win if you don't win the round at the moment that you've done it. Oh yes, oh nice, awesome. Yeah, that's the thing. It's also Lakia, at some point, I can't remember if I asked you this, but I'm looking to I'll probably make another card which might have the name Lakia in it. That does something. I haven't worked out exactly. It's just like when I create more cards, I need, and would that be okay if I just called, maybe I might even make a totem that's called Lakia or something like that does something. I haven't worked out what it does, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Because it's more like these are sort of like future ideas. Because I'm looking to, at the moment, I've actually made quite a few cards now. It's it's like I'm scrolling for a while. I think it works out if I sort of highlight. It's not quite this, so hold on. So it's 167, but divide by 3 because they're different levels. Yes, awesome. And I'll let you know once I've come up with the idea as to what it does. So yeah, so what's 167 divided by 3? Actually, it's a little bit less than that, but yeah. So I've come up with probably over 50 cards, but I'm looking to add a few more. That'd be really cool. So we need to just make a few cards slightly better. So I think a Bombing Nation we could. It's still quite a few because by the way that like 53-ish cards or something, 52 cards, they're just your base cards, but that doesn't include trash and cards that you get from the Misfit cards or the Inspiration cards. So there are actually even more than that, but like they're only cards that you kind of get mid-combat. So that there is a few. I think a Bombing Nation, we can actually quite easily, we can just make it, there's ways of me making it slightly better, but I think if I just lower this by 1 mana each time, so level, so it used to be 3-2-1, now it's 2-1-0, I think that's good. Angry Chuck seems to be fine. I don't think anyone's ever upset with Angry Chuck. Army Recruit, that's just your basic starting game one. I quite like is actually particularly good. It upgrades like exponentially, so I think that's fine. And yeah, like I said, I'm going to go through it. I think all the camp cards where you create ready camp stuff is fine. That's just the basic scrap. I had to leave the basic scrap in here for sort of complicated reasons. And yeah, the Bean Community, it's not actually that good when you first get it, but upgrading it to 3 of each does exponentially improve it. So it's like it upgrades very well, so I'm kind of fine with that. Yes, right, this is a card that we definitely need to improve on. So I might need to like play test it a little bit, but Being Realist, it used to be good, but I think since I've made all the other cards better, this one just needs a little bit of improvement. So what it does is it recruits attackers and defenders, enough attackers and defenders to reach 8 of each, which is quite good if you specifically get it first turn, but I think we could just do with making these numbers just slightly higher. So maybe I make it say 12, 16 and 22, I think. So we can just change that. So 12, and I'm hoping it's just a matter of 16, and 22. Yeah, so it's just a bit of an improvement, because I think when I was playing, I never really got excited about wanting to pick Being Realist. So yeah, I think that one could probably do a bit of an improvement. I think this Beanstalk is absolutely fine as it is. All of the Bees cards, I don't think they're overpowered. I think they're kind of balanced. I quite like that. Bean. Oh yeah, you told me there's a problem with one of the with the planning ahead card. I'll have a look into that. And Book of Bees, yeah. So when you actually get Book of Bees to level, yeah, when you actually upgraded it twice and you got it to level 3, it suddenly it increments the bees card twice, which makes it really good. Now Boy Royston, that's another whole game changer. I think I was wanting to nerf that slightly so it costs 4 and 2 mana instead of 3 and 1, but I think I'm okay with that. That's fine. Brick Camp, again, I'm kind of fine with all these camp cards. They're pretty good. Bully Beans seems reasonable because it costs 0, so you're not actually, you kind of want to, yeah, I think Bully Beans is all right. Cheap Conscript, yeah, again, absolutely fine because it doesn't do much, but you draw a card and it costs 0, so you're not losing anything in doing it. Right, now different strategy. We are going to improve this card. What I want it to do is I want it to be, it's going to cost 0 for all time. So it's the mana cost is always going to be 0, and it's going to it says convert your armored attackers into rangers. It's going to do something slightly different. It's going to be sacrifice. So the level 1 version is going to be sacrifice 5 armored attackers to then summon 5 rangers. But then the level up is going to be sacrifice 5 armored attackers to summon 10 rangers and then 15 rangers. So I think I prefer that idea because at the moment this is just simply an unplayable card. There's no reason you'd want to play this card. Different strategy. Divine Sacrifice. Yeah, I think this is okay. This is good for getting life back mid combat. Yeah, Dynamic Recruit definitely does need improvement. It's not actually too bad, but I think I'll leave that for the time being. The Elite Camp is fine. Glycerca, right. I think now, actually, I don't know if you're still about at Lakia, but I was... do you reckon Glycerca would be too strong if it was, instead of it being 3 mana, 2 mana, 1, if it was 2, 1, 0? I'm going to put that in because kind of like it is, you still need to actually have a deck that supports it, and it still does vanquish itself. So I'm going to, give it a shot. It might end up being too strong. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, I was thinking. So I've got the Glycerca. So that's the card that doubles your attackers, and doubles the number of attackers that you've got. Now it was originally 3 mana, 2 mana, 1 mana. So the level 1 version was 3 mana, and then if you upgraded it, it cost 2. Whereas I'm actually thinking of just making it 1 mana cheaper across the board. So when you first get it, it's 2 mana. Then 1 mana, then 0, and I'm not sure if Glycerca would make it too strong. I just haven't worked that out yet. It's just purely because when I was playing before, it's really actually quite hard to get Glycerca to work well. Whereas if it costs 1 mana less, it might just be a little bit more playable. Grand Gesture. All we really need to do is just make the numbers a bit higher on this, because I like the actual idea of the card, but I think we just need to make the numbers higher. So I think we start off. Oh, right. Yes, that's a good point. Yeah, you might be right, actually. Out of interest, did you end up upgrading it, or was 3 mana enough? Like, you might be right. I think it's what I'm going to do, I'm going to just for a little while, I'm going to just experiment with it costing 1 mana less and seeing if that's just too brokenly overpowered, because it still does vanquish, it still removes itself from its deck, so you can still only do it once. But yeah, that is good to know. That's really good input, because you can get some serious numbers off that. So Grand Gesture, it's a really good idea for a card. Maybe the way that I upgrade it is, because I think at the moment, even if you have it it's like 2 mana, it just feels a bit expensive. I could simply make it 1 mana, but would that be too good? No, I think we experiment because it's like it's still not a very it's not. I'm never excited to see that. I think Grave Carvor has got some serious upside to it, so I'm kind of fine leaving that because that can work. I might make it a bit cheaper, but that's okay. Um, yeah, so I'm sort of going through the. So that's Guard Recruit. That's a starting card. I'm not too worried about that. Heart of the Cards is actually a lot of fun. That's a good card. Oh yes, Hold Formation. Of course, this definitely needs improving. This is a rubbish card. I couldn't really work out unless you've got specifically a Glycerca deck. This has very little use. Yeah, I need to improve on this card. I haven't worked out how exactly. Inspiring Pot is absolutely fine. Iron Clawed. I might be able to up these numbers slightly, but I think it's on the whole it's fine. Wow, I didn't realise. I have made quite a lot of cards, haven't I? I've kind of lost track. But yeah, so I think this is quite good. I'm making just kind of want to go through. So the obvious ones that we've kind of come across so far is Different Strategy because it's rubbish and it needs that increase. Oh right. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. That's actually I never really sort of considered that. Because what we're going to do as well a bit later is when you get to upgrade your card, you're going to have one of two options. So option number one will always be upgrade a card like normal, but option number two is going to be of a random pool of about like 4 or 5 different things, and like one of them is going to be something like upgrade 3 random level 1 starter cards. So, it'd be like something that's slightly out of your control, but overall it upgrades more, but not necessarily where you want it. That's what I'm sort of contemplating. So you have just a little bit more, there's a bit more kind of spice when you're playing. You can be like, oh, I can just upgrade all my rubbish cards to be a bit better, as opposed to just upgrading a particular card that I want to improve. Or like upgrade a random level 1 card up to 3. Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. I actually I quite like that card. That's Regal Wendy. Yeah. So yeah. Kickoff is actually surprisingly useful. That's where you sacrifice beans to get loads of mana, because that can just be so helpful if you've got heavy decks which have got lots of mana cost. Keen Archer. Yeah, I did improve that. It just it upgrades a little bit more each time. So yeah, so that's a card that you want to get at the beginning of the game and just play. Iron Clawed. Right, yeah, but we're getting through them. I think this is good. Lost Relic is that's absolutely fine. You're probably Lost Relic is the one that essentially, I can't get the picture of it, but it's the one that summons. Then when you play it, it means the next totem gets summoned twice. But you don't have to. You can play it one turn, and then you don't actually need to play the totem that turn. So as long as you just remember that it's active, yeah. Because I had a disgusting deck where I had a Lost Relic that was fully upgraded and Book of Bees that was fully upgraded, and I essentially it was getting absolutely ridiculous, the amount every time. All I needed was like 2 or 3 other Bees cards that were just getting so much stronger every time. It was brilliant. So Mad Satterfield, absolutely, I like it just adds a bunch of little cards to your hand, absolutely fine there. Metal Camp, that's the one that summons Armoured Defenders and adds 1 to the Metal. That's all good. Metal Wall. That's a starter card, so I'm not too worried about that. Misfits Kenny. Yeah, like I said, I think Misfits Kenny on its own isn't particularly good, but when you have other totems that work well with it, it's pretty good. So I think that's pretty good. Right, okay. Anyway, I wanted to have a little so we've got as far as N, and I'm going to come back to that a bit later. I want to have another look at this code and see if I can work out, see if my brain has refreshed to try and work out exactly where this is going. So what we should do, this should be fine actually. Yes. Okay. I think we're fine. Okay. So what we're actually going to create int bridge. What have we actually called our thing? Yeah. Bridge start x equals new int, and I think that's just width of islands times by height of islands. So that's going to be x, and that will be yeah. Sometimes you just got to kind of try a few things out and try and make sense of it. So so for each island, so the end part is going to be here. So let's just try and work out bridge one island. Go to definition. Oh, sorry, I meant this one here. Go to definition. So we can actually probably return some values that we need. Right, so there's different ways we could do this. Unfortunately, we kind of need both the x and the y value. So let me just try and work this out. I'm going to do so. We can actually, outside of everything, public class. Okay. Public class. Yes. Okay. Public class. It would be easier if we just have x, y class. Okay. Int x. That's got to be public as well. Public int x. Public int y. So this is creating a separate class, and we'll just have public void set values int x, int y, x equals x and y equals y. This will make sense a little bit later, I hope. So we've created an entire class that's just kind of going to piggyback off the back of this, and so in here we kind of want to return two classes. Is it 2 or 1? Yeah, okay. Right, so here we're going to return XY class. It's actually going to be an array of XY classes. So x plus equals that. Okay, so so I think XY class start XY class equals new class. This is it's a little bit brave here. I know there's a lot easier. Yeah, we do actually want that as well. And this is going to be at the end. So start xy class dot set values. Actually, we might not be able to do it quite here. Because we've just got to work out where the bridge starts and finishes, and then kind of work it out from there. Oh, actually, I'm probably making this a bit more confusing than it needs to be. We may as well create both of these at the top. And then I think this bit needs to go all the way down to the bottom. And we're actually just going to have return new XY class array, which is going to be the start XY class, comma, end XY class. Okay, so so we just got to work out exactly what the we've just got to set the values as to what the start and the end of the bridge are. Don't worry, this will make sense. If this works, I'm going to look like an absolute genius. It'll be like a whoa, what's going on here? Actually, I'm probably not even going to look that clever, but in my head, it's going to look amazing. So we're essentially pinpointing the start and the end of each bridge. The only problem with each island, it's working its numbers on the end of the last bridge and the beginning of its bridge that it's coming from, which does add a lot more confusion to it. So that is the start, and I think why? Let's just have a look. Make tile occupied from there. So yeah, so this is these are the directions. This is where, you know, I should have actually not had integers. So I've actually got left, up, down, right. But we should actually change this. And I think this will make life easier. If I just change this into, yeah, I think this is okay. Oh yeah, we do actually, no, I won't bother about that yet, but we shouldn't have an integer to indicate the direction, because we've created an enum, which should make it easier, but we'll worry about that later, don't worry about that. So, end class xy dot set values, it's going to be x, comma, is it y minus 5 or y minus 4? Y minus 5. I'm going to say 5 because we just got to work out exactly where the end. So that will be x plus 5. This will be y plus 5. And this will be x minus 5, I believe. Okay, so all we're doing now is we're returning a bunch of bridges. I think, yeah. Okay. Right. So where are we up to now? So this is where we're creating it. We've just done this. So we're going to have x, y class temp x, y classes. So we're going to make an array. We only get 2 out of it, but we know equals that. Okay, so we now need to quite work. You know what? We're etching close to it, but I just don't think I can quite. My brain is. I'm getting close to it, but I think I'm just not quite there yet. I'm kind of gutted because, like, we're still going to struggle slightly. So I think for the time being, I'm probably going to call it here. I'm sorry to suddenly cut it short now. It's only just because I reckon I think I'm close to working this out, but I think I'm just going to be doing a little bit of back and forthing. What my plan is, by the time I stream next, I'm going to hopefully have like worked out this problem, and then we're going to start it, because the idea is we're looking to find. In fact, I think at the moment we shouldn't actually have any error messages. Actually, let's just yeah, we shouldn't get any error messages. Let's just find out. Ideally, yeah, so we can still focus. So what have we actually done today? We've got the movement sorted, and we've got the ability to like move island when we need to. But what we're our next plan is we want to like have a sort of automatic bit where Nina is going to just move to the next island, and move to about here. And then kind of like go to the next island. So if I were to go progress in 1, and this requires a little bit of pathfinding. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to work out the exact positions of where the start and the end bridge should be. And I think I'm getting close. The fact that I've made a class that's called the XY class, I think is going to be useful. But I think for the time being, I will call it there. Thank you so much for sticking around. It's been a really, really cool, productive stream. I think this will be worth it. This will be worth it. Like, once we've done this, it's going to make the system look a lot better. But it's definitely a little bit confusing for me. I'll see. Anyway, right, I'm going to head off now. Let's rock. All right, I'll see you guys later.